Hello, and welcome to Sports by Compion. My name, of course, is Stephen Compion, and I am joined here by my co-host, Mr. Dan Gill, is here in the house. How are you, Dan?
I'm great. I'm glad that we're finally getting back to the Midwest Series. I really enjoy these ones.
Not only are we on the Midwest Series, but we also have a very special guest here. The first female to grace Sports by Compion with her presence. Emily Hudak is in the house. Emily, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
We're glad to have you. We're very excited to talk some women's Ravens rugby / USA rugby in general. We're going to get all of Emily's opinions here. We're really going to put her to the test. Isn't that right, Dan?
Always.
He's gotten out there. But he has a lengthy list of questions. It's going to be really exciting. Make sure you guys like and subscribe or whatnot so you can get more vague sports coverage. But hopping right into it, we are coming to the end of the sports year. I believe the women's games have a couple more coming up. Is that right, Emily?
Yeah, we have this week off, and then we'll play in the championship stuff. We'll do a East versus West, November 11th.
That's pretty cool. So what's this deal with East versus West? Is it just his numbers are down kind of across the board? That's why they're doing this, or is there a Division III for women's? I guess is my first question to start there. Is there an established Division III league, or how does it work?
Yeah, so there's an established Division III. It was a lot bigger before COVID, and each team had their actual own teams, but after COVID and everything, and everyone's just numbers fell off, so then they split it into this festival style play where they split the regions East and West, and then each team in the respective regions host a festival, and all the teams in the East will go to the festival in the East, and the West will go to the one in the West.
Interesting. So I imagine that definitely has its advantages because you get to play with players from other teams and such, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Because I think we know the teams pretty well, so it's fun to be able to split up and play against each other.
For sure. So this past weekend, you guys had some games, right? Had a festival.
Yeah, we went to St. Charles and played with Fox Valley against the Banshees, and I think Quad City was there, and same with Des Moines was there.
Okay. And those two just kind of split up between the two different teams?
We combined with Fox Valley, and then the Banshees and Quad City combined, and then Des Moines was split up.
Gotcha. So as far as some of the Ravens games that I've seen, it seems like there's about 3 to 5, of you that are solid. Did have that home game with 10 of you, which was awesome to see. But it does seem like, Daniel, wherever these 3 to 5 ladies find themselves, that team seems to win because, they're undefeated this year. Is that correct, Emily? At least this fall?
Yeah, we're undefeated.
Wow.
There we go.
Undefeated, Dad. You believe
that? We got rock stars over here.
Turns out, we just need to put some more, players around them, and then they could probably go play their own rugby without even being involved in tournaments. But it is pretty cool, that they were able to pull off these wins. Have you guys played any teams from the East yet, or do you think this is another level that you're not going to be used to?
I think we played the East teams in the spring when there was a festival. I think we went to I think it's I don't know, somewhere central Indiana. We went to one of those.
Okay. And how was it? Was it a higher level than out here, or not really?
Not really.
No. You think they're about to
So this November 11th game, I guess for lack of a better term, I get that it's a championship game, but is it almost like an all-star matchup or something like that? You kind of,
yeah, I think
in theory, take the best of the collective West and the collective East.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
You're kind of getting that in general. It seems like whoever's still hanging on and playing women's rugby at this point is some of the obviously more committed and better players anyway. which
Yeah.
is a pity. But what would you say, Emily? As I've been involved with trying to recruit and just being involved with rugby over the last 7 years, it's hard to recruit for rugby. But it's really hard, Dan, recruiting for women's rugby. What would you say, Emily, is probably one of the main reasons a lot of girls don't play?
Um, I don't know. I think the fact that it's a contact sport kind of scares people away.
Sure.
They think that they get hurt, and I don't know. I don't think that they can see past that.
Right. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, with
I could see that.
I mean that's the same thing with guys. But what would you say, like, as
Yeah.
far as your rugby career? Would you say you've seen a lot of big injuries? Do you get a lot of them? I mean, not trying to say. I mean, yeah, it's a contact sport. There's going to be injuries, but I don't think it's
Um,
nearly as prevalent as some people think.
yeah, so I've
Yeah.
played for like 10 plus years now, and I have only had like one concussion, and I think that was like my most severe injury. And then besides that, it's only been like minor stuff.
It's pretty cool. And as far as the trade-off, of playing rugby compared to not playing, like, did you like other sports, or was it always going to be rugby for you?
I liked other sports. I liked volleyball and basketball a lot, but then I just stopped playing them once I started playing rugby and like going into high school and stuff. I decided I liked rugby better than them.
Makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of
Now,
influence in your family.
Not really, because my sister and I started playing at the same time, and like after we played for a while, we found out that our like uncle and stuff, my uncle played, but then besides that, like my mom and dad didn't really know anything about it.
Oh, okay. So, Daniel, do you have a question?
yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, I know on the men's side, we often talk about like, oh, go find former football players, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
is there like women's sports that you could target? Like, well, lacrosse out here is a thing. It's not really a thing in the Midwest, but like that's one of the more contact-ish women's sports that you're gonna get. That's like kind of a little more obvious. Yeah, there's contact in basketball, but like something that's on a higher level, type of deal.
I think that we see a lot of soccer players, just from like the fitness aspect. I feel like it's the same kind of, it's easy for them to transition.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. And plus, they got kicking
Yeah,
ability, so you come over with some kicking, it makes it a lot better. As far as the Ravens themselves, what do you think of the overall year you saw from your team?
I really liked it. I think the core group that have like gone to almost all the festivals, like I think we've really figured out like what meshes well, and like we're able to like work on our individual skills like while still playing with like other people, and like being able to hold ourselves accountable for like what we need to work on personally, which is cool.
Good.
Not getting lost in all the big festival stuff.
Yeah, and it does seem like a pretty strong core. I mean, there's probably about 8 to 10 of you that are more or less pretty committed. So it's good. It's definitely something to build on for the future. What do you think, as far as talking to some of these high school girls slash, college girls considering the sport? What do you think would be something that would why do you think that you would want to play? Was it a lot of the tackling? Was it the just maybe chemistry that you don't get from other sports?
I think the team chemistry, like you are able to build like such strong friendships because it's like such a small group, and like you see the people like 3 times a week and everything. And I feel like that kind of gets lost when you're an adult. Like you kind of
Yeah,
like miss that aspect of friendships from sports.
absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. And
I think
right then.
even I'd say like even it's kind of funny how it extends to like even your opponents. Like you were saying, you guys like playing festivals with certain teams. Like I know like Taylor and I like went down and played with Northwest at Nash Bash. So it's kind of like I know a lot of friends that play football, basketball, other sports, and they're like, why do you hang out with your opponents after the game? And it's that like broad culture. Not only like is it small in your own community, it's just when I showed up there, Tim Harden was like, we'll find out if you're weird later, but you're one of us, because you play. And it's just kind of amazing to see how fast people just get drawn in and like you're one of us essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, you guys should all come out, and if you're thinking about playing rugby and you're a lady, come on out. The Rockford Ravens have an excellent spot for you. Great chemistry, great team around it. Moving on to some international rugby. I'm not sure how much you've been following the women's scene. We'd be lying if we said we've been following it like super well. Daniel has not been sending me his follow-up email I asked him for about women's rugby. Remember when I asked you for that, Daniel? Anyway,
Yeah,
last World Cup wraps up with New Zealand taking the win. USA lost in the semifinals. Is that right?
I think it was the semi, yeah.
Yeah, I think they lost to England in the semifinals, or yeah, it must have been. I think it was England. Anyway, what do you think of the U.S. overall state of rugby?
I think the women's team are on their upswing. I think that they've been doing a lot better. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, they I mean, they're still one of the best ones in the world. So there's always that, Dan. All right, so just because New Zealand is better than us doesn't mean that should be embarrassed. At least they're qualifying for the World Cup and getting to the semifinals, unlike some teams we can list. Anyway,
but it's good that they're playing to that level because it's drawing so much attention to it.
Yeah,
and people are going to tune in and watch it. It's, I feel like when you go out and recruit, people at least have some frame of reference now where maybe 10 or so years ago when people kind of looked at you like you're funny.
Was it the second or the first Women's World Cup that just wrapped up? What was it, last year? Was that the first or the second? I feel like it might be the second, I want to say.
I want to say it's the second one, yeah.
Yeah. Hasn't been long, that's for sure. So, it's all on the up and up as far as this rugby goes. Emily, do you have any final words you'd like to say to the people, sports by Compion, who have come to watch your episode?
Thanks for listening. I don't have anything else.
And wow, guys, we don't need anything better than that. That's just the best sign off ever. I hope you find people learn something today about how you should be out there playing rugby and not just, not playing rugby, right, Dan? That'd be terrible. Anyway, Sports by Compion out.